Thank you, General Chaturvedi, for inviting me for this lecture series. And I'm feeling very nostalgic. I'm a law graduate and psychology graduate, and spent over 3 decades in the corporate world and saw the human behavior very closely. I worked in sales management and people development in organizations like A.V. Birla, Tata Sons, Reliance Retail, Gillette, Kellogg's, and Mars International. And now I have set out my own consulting firm, The People First, and I'm working towards sales capability and leadership behavior development across the industry and professions.
Anandji, how did this subject come to your mind?
See, I'm a law student. I treat myself law student and have been observant that how legal education is evolving in the country. And I'm very happy that apart from core functional subjects, the law education has evolved over a period of time.
It has.
And now the course is of 5 years generally. And there are many interdisciplinary subjects in which the students are taught, and they are evolved, groomed to deal in this dynamic situation and evolving world. So it looks to me that if students are oriented towards human behavior, they will be providing a better service. They will have a higher level of empathy towards the client, petitioner, convict. And when I look at the subject with some deeper insight, then it looks that the lawmakers should also be oriented. As they make the law, they should have deeper understanding of human behavior. And the judges who are at bar and bench, the legal counsels and the judges, they should also be oriented towards human behavior, and they will understand the client, petitioner better. And apart from the core legal training and education, human behavior runs across the law, as it is law is there to maintain the order in the society and manage the human behavior at the end. So that should not be only understood in the form that the way it has been codified. In lot of judgments, the judges bring the human behavior society as ratio decidendi, what you call it, that part of the judgment, that will more evolve if the students will have the human behavior orientation.
So you believe that the wide spectrum of personnel connected to law, this subject is relevant to all of them, whether judges or counsels or advocates or lawmakers?
Very much relevant. It runs like a golden thread throughout the entire fabric of the legal profession, and it is relevant to all.
Thank you. The subject is human behavior. What exactly is included and meant by human behavior?
Yes, it is important to understand. So when we talk about human behavior, personality is a starting point. That who am I, how I behave, in different dimensions of personality, what I have, and if I know about myself, if I discover myself, I'll be willfully accommodating other people. I'll understand that how I am unique, how I am different, why I behave in a particular manner. And if I'm unique and I discover myself, I like myself, then I will be respecting other people and will be accommodating them, will understand them better. So personality is a starting point. Then after that, there are many behavioral competencies which may be problem solving, which may be customer centricity, which may be communication, which may be persuasiveness, which may be building trust, which may be what you call it persuasiveness. So all these behavioral competence are there, which needs to be understood and which can be developed. One can appreciate the client and students and various areas to interpret all these behaviors, to inculcate, to be working in different scenarios, standing alone. So there are circumstances where in a group you hold a particular view. Now what allows you to stand alone? So that is also a competence, a behavioral competence. One should have that. And apart from that, the commitment is an important part of human behavior. That how you build the commitment. Many times the legal proceedings are long drawn. Now what builds you the courage, what gives you the courage, and how you stand in the tougher times, how you many times you lose the battle, still you stand and you fight for a greater cause. So that is the commitment.
And of course, when you say customer, in our context, this would be the clients in relation to a counsel or parties before a judge. Insofar as law teachers are concerned, these are the students. That of course goes without saying.
Absolutely. Okay. The other aspect of human behavior is the culture. So what value I carry, how people identify me, how I behave, what is my behavioral pattern, and what values I carry in different times. I am perceived accordingly and people trust me, and how I build the relationship. So all these things are included, and they are the cornerstone of the human behavior.
Addressing this segment of law teachers, what do you think are the possible or the likely ways in which this subject of human behavior can be taken up by them?
See, what it looks to me that the entire legal fraternity, from the point of that how legal behavior should be inculcated, can be divided into two parts. So one is the budding legal professionals who are most impacted by the teachers. So teachers at the first level should be oriented in human behavior. One, that how these different subjects which are taught in law should be looked from the human behavior lens and should be interpreted, explained accordingly. The other segment is that who are the practicing professionals, judges. So like I said, that there are 60 papers in 5 years which typically are there, and there is a paper of counseling also that has been included, what I have under client counseling. So how that client counseling alone will not do as a paper. It should be more evolved, where they understand the human behavior in wider context, and at the same time There is a continued legal education
Yes.
that is there for the legal professionals, especially
At
for the
various stages.
various stages for the judges. So in continued legal education, this area should be included. And the professional practitioners, in-house counsels, they should also be exposed to human behavior through various training programs in-house or externally.
I think what you have said is quite relevant, because so far the approach was that a lawyer would think, well, this is how I am, and when my client comes, he should behave, he should answer, or he should brief me in the manner which I expect. Or a judge is used to giving judgments or behaving in a courtroom in his manner, but what you have brought out is truly very significant, relevant, and it would be beneficial also. Anandji, you have brought out something very relevant and useful to the legal education. Now, a question comes to my mind is that how do you visualize that this aspect of human behavior should be carried forward, taken ahead?
General Chaturvedi, I am not a legal expert nor expert in the field of education, but I am sensitive and observant, and worked in the space of human behavior and is still working. So different organizations, be the institute where students are studying, whether the bar council, whether the in-house organizations who are the different legal bodies, should be discussing, debating in this area. There should be more discussion which is required, because one way won't serve the purpose and will not be able to address the need of the different segments. So they will have to tailor make, customize that how according to the level of the legal professionals they should be carried forward. I cannot move the wheel alone, and I have just tried to move the needle only, and want that this discussion should go on, and there should be tangible action in this direction by different segments. And I am a practitioner on human behavior and available to assist any of the organization. And thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
One more question before we conclude. What comes to my mind is that we already have different specializations and compartments. I am referring to the courts which deal with civil matters as opposed to criminal matters, taxation matters. Now we have got, say, enforcement director or directorate, CBI courts. There are family courts and children courts. Now, having regard to the different types of courts which are already there, how do I explain to the students that still this human behavior is relevant in this present context?
So it's a very relevant question. What it looks that we do not know that where students will go, whether they will practice in which discipline, whether in a particular area or as they will evolve, or they will be general practitioners.
Right.
And some of them may opt to become the judges. So we do not know. So we need to understand that even practicing counsels are, some of them have specialized, some of them are working all across different disciplines. Judges are also getting transferred from one area to other court to other type of court. So in that case, we cannot be so specific at this point in time. So, human behavior orientation will help them to understand that how the child crime is different than the terrorist. How the family matters are different than the corporate taxation. So at least they will have orientation on human behavior to deal with different type of clients, petitioners who come from all these areas.
You give them core competency.
Core competence, a basic foundation. That should be the starting point, what it looks to me.
Thank you very much, Anandji. And your presentation has been very useful and would guide aspiring law teachers in a big way. Thank you.
Thank you very much, General Chaturvedi, for providing me this opportunity and sharing my thoughts. Thank you very much.